Now, what do I say about Piranesi by Suzanne Clarke that the rest of YouTube hasn't already said? Piranesi is one of the most unique fantasy books I've ever read. Don't go into it expecting epic battles or a complex magic system. It's a quiet, mysterious story about a man who lives inside an endless house filled with infinite halls, countless statues, and oceans that rise and fall with the tides. It's a slow burn novel that thrives on atmosphere, a beautiful prose, and uncovering its mysteries piece by piece. If you enjoy books that leave you thinking long after you finish the page, Piranesi is absolutely worth the read. Now, have you ever read a book or watched a movie or TV show where the final scene ends or you get to the last page and you read it and you kind of just sit there and think? You don't really know what you're thinking about or why. You're almost just stunned in a daze trying to comprehend what it is you just finished reading or watching. Well, for me, so far in my reading journey, no book has done that more than Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. In the comment section, let me know if I'm not alone when I say this, but it took me a while to figure out that this book was a mystery because when it starts off and you're starting to get to know more about Piranesi, but more importantly, know more about his world, he's not treating it like a mystery. He's doing everything in the unique journal entries that Susanna Clarke does throughout this book. And you're kind of slowly learning about the world, learning about the atmosphere, and who else he talks to in his world, all that. But he's not angry. He's not upset about where he is. He's not really even questioning at first in this book. And so, because of that, as a reader, I wasn't questioning. Now, as a newer reader, this is a book that I kind of leave with more questions than I do answers. But one thing I want to talk about is the characters. Because tell me if I'm crazy, but is the protagonist Piranesi or is it the labyrinth itself? I mean, I've never really read something where the atmosphere or the world is just as important as the actual characters. It's a book that it is a mystery, so it does get serious, but the whole time Piranesi is very, naive. He's very grateful. He's very happy. He's somebody that you can trust. That's very easy to love as a reader. And it's very interesting how Susanna Clarke puts a protagonist like that in a mysterious book that gets a little bit serious, and there's plots and there's themes that are all in there, they're all in there, but it's almost as if the protagonist isn't aware of it. Does that make sense? And then, of course, a large question that you will have when you're done reading this book is how important our memories are, and are we just our memories? Piranesi is a perfect example of, if he doesn't have memories of Earth, or if he only has memories of him in this labyrinth, is that who he is? Or, is he going to be a great, nice, trustworthy guy that's thankful and appreciative in any world, in any setting that he's put in? It's a weird question to ask, but it's something that I immediately got out of this book, and I'm happy that I did. Now, in terms of, you know, of course, this channel, I like to always talk about if it's a book that I would recommend. And that's what's really weird about Piranesi, because, I listen to other, YouTubers, and they say, this is an amazing book. Everybody should read it no matter what. I almost feel like, in terms of if you recommend this book, it's got to be to a very particular person at a specific time on when they want to read something like this. For me, this isn't a Red Rising, Giant World, or, a Brandon Sanderson book where it's exciting, it's action, it's fun. This is a book that you read when it's the right time for you to read it. And when I started reading it, that's not what I was expecting. I was like, hey, I want to read another standalone. I hear a lot of people talking about Piranesi. It's a different type of book. I wanted to read a book with a female author, and so I figured, hey, Susanna Clarke, Piranesi, it's really popular. It hits multiple, checkpoints for me. So why not give it a try? And I ended up getting to where I wanted to at the end of the book, but I do feel like I wasted some time early on trying to figure out what exactly did I just pick up? What is it that I'm reading? And what am I supposed to be getting from this? And going into it completely blind, that's something that I had to overcome. And if I were to recommend this book to somebody, I would maybe explain some of that early on so they have a little bit of idea of what it is that they're getting into. Now, with all that being said, this is a book that I'm very, very happy that I read. I don't know if I would ever, pick it up again and reread it, but just like a great TV show or just like a great movie, it's a book that you should definitely read at least once. And after this review and other reviews that you watch and listen to, if you think it's a good time for you to do it, you're going to have a great time. And just like that, I'm officially 15 books into my series filling the shelf. I started this YouTube channel because of that exact idea where, hey, let's in chronological order start from the first book I read for fun as an adult all the way to current. And with Piranesi, I'm officially 15 books in. I can't wait to read the next book, review it for you guys next week. In the meantime, of course, if you're not already, go read for fun, and I'll see you in the next video.